In this section, I'm going to show demonstrations of their physical abilities, some of which may involve the use of technology. I'm certain that they can levitate, and I believe that they can teleport as well. You'll also see that they're much stronger than humans, even in their human imitation forms, and by much stronger, I mean at least 3 times as strong as an average man. Another thing you'll see is their ability to withstand physical attacks, both impact and penetration. Even though they're much smaller in their human imitation forms, they still retain much of the strength and durability of their native forms. So the legends about vampires having superhuman abilities and being very resilient to physical attacks are true to reality. Vampires are Dracs in human imitation forms. They are the source of those legends. Dracula. We looked at Kenny Easterday earlier, and now I'm going to show some clips of him from the movie The Kid Brother. I think that these clips demonstrate that he is levitating, or at a minimum, that he's reduced the weight of his body to a small percentage of what it would normally be if he were human. Watch how effortlessly he moves here, as if his body weighs almost nothing. Again, effortless motion. Also notice how he's able to rotate his torso from vertical to horizontal without any muscular means to do so. Watch his left elbow bend backwards here. That's what enables him to walk so fast on his hands. He's going to take his right hand off the floor. If he were human, he would fall here. He's jumping from his fingers. Again, no way you could do that with the human body. He lands without his torso touching the ground. If he were human, he would have hit the ground hard and wouldn't recover so quickly. Again, his arms take the full force of the drop without his torso touching the floor, and he recovers quickly. He pushes over a fairly heavy object while standing on one arm. If he were human, he would have lost his balance and fallen. Watch how fast he spins around on one arm here. There's no way a human in this condition could do that. Climbing stairs is just as effortless, and he maintains perfect balance. A human in the same condition couldn't do this at all. Standing on one arm as he knocks. He has little to no support from his right arm or torso. He's holding himself up almost entirely with his left arm. Of course, if he is levitating, he doesn't need any arms to hold himself up. He calls this yoga balance, but it's clearly not possible for a human to do this. Even if he had the strength to do this, he would still fall, because the stick isn't fixed in the ground. So he must be levitating. Again, either by using technology or his polymorphic ability, effectively reducing his weight to 0. It's also possible that he's using technology to generate a force field under his body, basically an invisible yet solid platform.
Do it without the stick. Do it without the stick. Yeah, there you go.
You know, there's always skeptical people. I'll do it without the stick, but how about you give me a nice big tip?
Sure, 20 bucks.
Yeah, 20 bucks? Okay, I'll do it without the stick if you give me 20 bucks. You start the trash can. How would you like to make $5?
Okay, yeah, I'll make. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever meditated before?
This guy from the crowd is obviously in on this, and he's a Drac too. He appears to be burying a small object in the sand.
Okay. Yes, this isn't a true levitation. This is yoga balance. He's right. All I need is something to hold on to. It's like this man's head. Join without the stick. Will you own with me?
Oh shit.
Other than levitation or a force field, the only other way to do this is to have some kind of rig inside the guy's jacket that's fixed to a base in the ground, which has a transparent support coming out in front that he can sit on. But I don't see any evidence of that here.
Oh gosh, are you okay? Are you alright?
Smoking the guy's neck.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, gosh.
How's the fucking doing?
We're all one.
What? I love you, thank you. Yeah, everybody give Matthew a round of applause. If you want to help him find a home.
I can't believe it, and I sight with my eyes. I can't believe it! This man needs to be talked about. I'm telling you. That's some powerful stuff there, brother.
Just because somebody's homeless doesn't mean they can't do amazing things.
In the right frame, it looks like he's reverted his right hand to 3 fingers. They're also thicker and spaced farther apart than human fingers. And in the left frame, he's reverting the creases in the skin on his neck, which we've seen a number of times before. Again, other than levitation or a force field, the only other possibility is that the staff is fixed in the ground with a rig going up his arm, supporting a harness on his torso. But his body looks too relaxed for him to be hanging from a harness.
Yeah, it works. Keeps a core strength. He does at least 30 sit-ups a day. Maintain that. Oh, that's what you How much?
So I'm here with my sister. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Peach Boss. So we're just leaving and that guy was magic. Thanks for watching.
This guy is also reverting the creases on his neck to show that he's a Drac. I want to use this to point out that most of the people putting out reptilian shapeshifting videos, and even UFO and chemtrail videos, are themselves Dracs. Some of them are legitimately trying to show you the truth, like this group, but there are others that are doing it to trivialize or discredit these subjects, either by putting out bad or faked examples, or by giving false explanations for what you're seeing, like demonic possession. I've found that almost everyone I've communicated with from YouTube has turned out to be a Drac. I know now that all of the big channels are Dracs, and I'm sure you've noticed that they're not showing you what I'm showing you, nor giving much of an explanation, if any. I also want to point out the sunglasses here. As I said, the Dracs are a subterranean race, or they come from a planet that has weak sunlight, or a different spectrum than our sun. Whatever the reason, they do have some difficulty with the sunlight on Earth, and you'll find that most of the people wearing sunglasses are Dracs. I see that around Murphy a lot. I've worn sunglasses a few times, only for the look, but I found that they made things too dark for me to comfortably get around. So generally, humans don't need to wear sunglasses. Most of the ones you see are Dracs, though not all of them are that sensitive. Here's another one. It looks like he's moving the staff around a bit, so I don't think it's fixed to the ground. This one can't be a force field, as you can see that his robe hangs down freely under him. He's reverting a large vein on his left hand to show that he's a Drac, and the fingers look shorter than normal. If he is wearing a rig, the support rod would have to come out of the staff below his hand, and I don't see that. So I'm quite certain that this one is levitation. Here's one in Israel, way up on the side of a building, and he's doing it standing up. His feet are dangling, as you can see that he moves them around slightly, so he's not standing on anything. The only conventional explanation is that his right arm is a rod that's fixed in the wall, holding up his harness. But in order to hold up that much weight, they'd have to drill very deep into the wall, especially since it doesn't have any support at the bottom. And again, he looks too relaxed to be wearing a harness. He moves down slightly here as he waves, and I'll show this again at the end. The camera pans up a bit, but you can still tell that his hand, his whole body, is moving down slightly versus the wall. They threw in this animation to distract you from that. So his hand can't be fixed to the wall if it's moving. That means he's levitating. This video is from Russia. You're about to see a girl levitating in midair, 9 to 10 feet above the ground. And this time there aren't any props. I believe that this is a real levitation, but it's clear that it's not a random encounter. The guy who recorded this is a Drac as well, and those two are probably his family members or friends. They're doing this to show you that they can levitate, but again, they can't present it in an obvious way. It has to be a fast, jerky video to leave some doubt that it's real. If the girl were hanging from wires, she wouldn't have been able to disconnect that quickly, and she would have fallen a long way to the ground. But as you can see, she's in her mother's arms only a second or two after she's seen up in the air. And she runs off freely, without any sign of wires or gear attached. So that tells me that she's really levitating. This one is going to stand on eggs, which unquestionably demonstrates weight reduction at a minimum, and they break the eggs at the end to show that they're real eggs. There's no evidence of the use of supports or wires either.
长得呢，虽然并不算太出众，可是它的轻功却相当了得。不信你看，它每只脚只踩在2、3个蛋上面。
Notice that her feet bounce slightly here, which says that her effective weight is fluctuating.
慢慢向前走。要不是有绝顶的轻功，鸡蛋早就踩碎了。袁如霞真可以称得上是身轻如燕呐。差不多了。 好，啊，总算可以松一口气儿了。检查一下，你别以为是木头鸡蛋哦，你看，嘿嘿，每一个都是生的。一会儿啊，还可以吃炒鸡蛋呢。哎，对了，你想不想吃啊？这可是家乡蛋哦，啊！
This proves that she's a Drac. She's reduced the length of her left pinky finger in the left frame, and the thickness and length of her ring and pinky fingers in the right frame. The index and middle fingers have also become somewhat angular.
I weigh like 112 pounds, yeah? You can lift me up, right? You can see my feet up to go. It wasn't that difficult, right?
Not too bad.
Yeah? I want you to get ready to lift me.
Okay.
Yeah? But don't lift me till I say so. Just lift me up.
He's demonstrating that he can change his weight at will without changing the size of his body.
Nah, get out of here though. This guy weighs a ton right now.
It's such a powerful technique. I even used it on heavyweight boxer David Hay. So you didn't struggle that much there. Look at me. Just lift me again.
By rights, I should be able to toss him over over a wall. Not like that. Strange.
As I said, I've experienced this in person. I was carrying someone in a chair with the help of another individual. Ordinarily, she'd weigh about 150 pounds, which I can lift by myself. But this time, even with help, I could barely lift my side, so she must have been well over 300 pounds. Their biological weight may not change from the native form when they compress down. It's possible that they're using partial levitation force to get down to human weight. They may also be able to increase their weight beyond that of the native form by generating downward force. In John Carpenter's They Live, he shows us that we're being controlled by aliens that have disguised themselves as humans. We know that's true. He also shows us that they have advanced technology, anti-gravity craft, flying orbs, psychotronic devices, and holograms, and that they have their own cities underground. We know that all of that's true. He shows us that they have teleportation technology as well. I've never seen teleportation in person, so I can't confirm this, but this video appears to be a legitimate example of this. And interestingly, this happened on January 13, 2017, which was Friday the 13th. 13 is a significant number for the Dracs, so I don't think it's a coincidence. This individual seems to materialize alongside the car, and then he gets pulled by the motion, rolling over to the side. The people in the other cars react to this by stopping, so it looks like a real event. Most of the other teleportation videos I looked at either didn't look real to me, or I found that they were actually suicide attempts. In a few cases, I could see the person in the distance running or jumping from the side of the road. You don't see this guy coming from anywhere. The driver of that vehicle probably didn't even see him. He just heard something bump against the car, so he stopped. That's why you demonstrate this in traffic, to show that it's real. And for safety reasons, you do it in slow traffic. If you did it in a static environment with no interactions, people would just think that it's edited. And obviously, he knew that this vehicle had a camera, otherwise he wouldn't have done this. In They Live, they have personal teleportation devices, and also off-world teleportation sites, something like Stargates. So I do believe that they have this technology in reality, and this provides some evidence of that. What I've learned is that if it exists in science fiction and fantasy, it already exists in reality. There are dragons, dwarves, and elves, and some of these races have advanced technology. This so-called magic act is a clear demonstration of teleportation, and it shows that they can teleport objects with a very high degree of accuracy, regardless of size. I believe that they accomplish this by folding space, by creating matched portals at different locations, basically setting up a wormhole effect. So the video game Portal is based on reality. They have that technology. In this case, he has an assistant backstage who's generating the origin portals to put the objects through, and he's generating the destination portal from a device inside his hand. This is the real explanation for most of these magicians. They're Dracs using teleportation, levitation, and other supernatural abilities. This confirms that he's a Drac. This shows that they can coherently teleport loose particles and fluids. These Dracs are trying to show you the truth, but even when they make it obvious, humans still can't get it. Millions of humans watch this, and not one of them was able to recognize what they were looking at. And that tells you why they choose humans to be their thralls. He's reverting the spinal curvature and back hump, so this confirms what we already knew. Here's a demonstration of gradual liquid teleportation. As with all these magic acts, these two spectators are Dracs as well, so they know exactly what's going on, and they can do this themselves.
There isn't a hole or anything down here, you know, it's like solid. And all of a sudden, it's just gone.
Yeah. Watch.
No way.
Blow me some more, blow me some more.
No way.
Prizes. Yeah, that'll do.
It should be obvious now how he's doing this. He's generated a portal inside his bucket, through which he's pulling the stick from some other location. Daimo is going to put his hand through the glass to retrieve the bracelet and then take it out of the case. He accomplishes this by generating aligned portals on both sides of the glass, one in the outside and one in the inside. His hand enters the portal above the glass and comes out of the portal below, which is inside the case. So he's bypassing the glass using teleportation. If he moved his left hand out of the way, you'd see a gap in his arm between the two portals. And if he generated the second portal in open space, you'd see his disembodied hand come out of thin air. I spoke to a Draco recently who confirmed that they use space-folded portals for teleportation. He also said that if the portals lose power and collapse, anything that's passing through will be cut in half. I suppose it could be used as a weapon in this way, and it might also be possible to teleport someone's internal organs outside of their body.
Yeah, it's definitely real glass. Yeah. It's serious.
Cyril Tagayama is going to do the same thing with this aquarium. The difference is that he has to constantly adjust the portal aperture to make sure there isn't too much water coming out from the sides.
窓がきれいになるだけではなく、実はこするとガラスが柔らかくなっていくんです。
ガラスが柔らかくなるとは一体どういうことなのか。一見すると普通の硬いガラスにしか見えない。
Now watch.
紙ナプキンを水槽のガラスにかぶせ、ゼロが上からゆっくりと手でガラスを押し。
He starts with a small diameter, just enough to put his fingers through, and then he increases the size to accommodate his hand. This shows that it can't be a door in the glass since the opening is changing size. Quite a bit of water comes out as his hand passes into the tank. Very briefly, there was a gap along the edges of the portal which allowed some water to escape. If you generate a portal at the bottom of the tank, and the other one in open space, all of a sudden you'd see water pouring down out of thin air, and the tank would empty out. Anything else that's small enough to fit through the portal would come out as well. Cyril does a fair amount of shapeshifting and reverting in his videos, so he's another one that's trying to show you the truth.
柔らかくなってるでしょ？
なってる。
なってる、OK。なってるなってる、大丈夫。みんなここをよく見ててください。Right over here, watch, OK？ 柔らかくなったんです。見えない。Watch.
Same thing with this coin. Aligned portals on both sides, so his finger bypasses the coin.
Can we touch it?
Yeah.
Oh my effing gosh. Oh my.
Watch. Ulit ka din eh.
Just like the previous example, he generated aligned portals to pass one coin through the other. But I'm not sure if he unified and closed the portals after that, or if he left them open. If he did unify and close them, then the coins are physically merged now. But I'd have to examine them in person to know for certain.
Watch closely, right? Watch.
Look at that!
He used teleportation to link the mints together, by generating a portal through an object, and the other portal outside of the object. They can effectively split the object into two parts. It hasn't physically been broken, but the sides are separated in space outside of the portal. In this case, the outside portal is generated right next to the other mint, so the right side of the split mint materializes in the space where it passes through the hole. Then he pulls the linked mints out of the portal, or he moves the portals together, so they unify in the same space. That's how they link and unlink objects with openings in them.
That's weird. Indeed, that's weird.
Can I borrow this knife? Yeah.
Oh là là. Oh my god. Ouais. No.
This shows that they can deconstruct an object by passing a portal through part of it, causing that part to physically separate from the rest of the object. So as I said, it could be used as a weapon to teleport someone's internal organs outside of their body, just like the lemon kiwi. These splitting people in half tricks also use portals. They generate the portals very close together so that there is no observed change in length of the body. Then the portals are moved further apart so it appears that the body has been cut in half. The space inside the portal is contiguous, so her body is still intact in there. It's just that half is passing through the portal into a different space. If she looked down through the portal, she would see her legs and feet in their normal positions, but if she looked to the back, she would see her legs and feet behind her. She could touch her legs either by reaching down through the portal or by reaching back. In both ways, she would feel as if her legs were in their normal positions. If she pulled herself out of the box, you would see her legs pull up and disappear from the other box, and her body would appear whole again. Once again, this confirms what we already knew. She was reverting her left eye in the left frame, her nose and chin in the middle frame, and the guys on Generator's left ear in the right frame. This trick has been around for a long time, so almost every human on the planet has seen it at least once. There's a great truth to be learned here, but to them, it's nothing more than entertainment. They see it, they laugh, and then they forget about it. They never question what they're looking at, not even for a moment. They don't recognize the shape-shifting, the supernatural abilities and advanced technology in use, or the artificial weather. Humans are an embarrassment as a sentient race. This one uses portals to translocate her head out of the box. One portal is around the base of her neck, and the other is off stage somewhere, so you would see her disembodied head at that location. Again, if she looked down through the portal, she would see her body on stage, but outside of the portal, she wouldn't see it. And if her head were translocated underwater, water would start pouring out from her shoulders onto the stage. Cyril is also going to translocate his head using portals, except that he generates a second portal from his hands, so it looks like he takes his head off. He's not directly moving his head, he's moving the portal which is translocating his head.
more time? じゃあ逃げないでくださいね。
下がってなんで体なくなっちゃってんだよ。どこにいるの今。今どこに行ってたの。
皆さんこれが my best number 1です。
Notice it's completely black inside his collar. You don't see his neck at all. That's because the backside of the portal doesn't emit light. All the light coming from the other side enters the portal and passes out through the other portal below his head. I'm not sure what would happen if you touched the backside of a portal. It would probably be impassable, but until I test this in person, I'm just guessing. This is another translocation split at the waist, except that he's standing, and the portals are under his clothes. He's moving the second portal so he can elevate and rotate his upper body. Notice his legs lean to his right side to counterbalance gravity, pulling his upper body to his left side. It's possible that gravity is coming through the portal as well, so his upper body may feel it in two directions, lengthwise and laterally. Chris is going to use portals to split these two in half, and then he's going to link their upper body portal to the other person's lower body portal, so it looks like they swap legs.
That's good. That's good. Very nice. You want to cross your legs? Cross this leg over. There you go. Good. I want you just to close your eyes. Just relax yourself. Relax yourself.
He activates and unlinks the portal so they can be pulled apart. The portal devices are attached to their bodies under their clothes, so they move with that part of the body.
Relax. Where you going? Come back over here. Come back over here. Come back over here. Come back over here. Relax. Come over here. Relax. Relax. You're right. Just relax. Relax yourself. Relax. What the f***? Come over here.
What the f***? You have my legs. What the f*** did you do? You have to fix that. Get the f*** back over here.
Their portals have been cross-linked, but he still controls his legs, and she still controls her legs. Outside of the portals, they're translocated and rotated from their upper bodies, but inside the portal space, they're still attached. With the portals linked, the upper body goes wherever the legs go, and also rotates in the same direction. Again, you can see that the back sides of the portals are completely black. All the light coming from the other side passes out through the other portal, which faces down the legs. Jonathan is going to demonstrate the true strength of a Drac in its human imitation form by flipping this car on its side. These others are Dracs as well, and any one of them could flip this car on their own, but that wouldn't be acceptable to show. Even though they're not using their full strength, it's probably true that it would take 4 or 5 male humans to lift the car up this much.
You've all heard the news stories about, in an accident, a mum being able to lift a car to free a trapped child. They get these incredible moments of strength. What's interesting to me is, can you get yourself in a place psychologically where you can lift a car? And that's what we're going to try and find out today. I think I know how to do this.
A human can't do this. Period. I don't care how much adrenaline you have in your system. Your muscles, ligaments, and bones can only take so much stress before they tear and break. He also had to reverse his grip about halfway up, which means that briefly he had only one hand on the car. It is possible that they removed the engine or put anti-gravity devices inside the car to make it lighter, but I don't think so. I think that the car is its full weight here. Those women lifting cars off their children are all Dracs, and all of the professional strongmen are Dracs. Jonathan is average size, and he was able to do this. He's at least twice this size in his native form, so the added weight and leverage alone would easily double his strength from this. Here's another strength demonstration, and he certainly doesn't look like an athlete. He lifts and moves the back end of the car with ease. Again, it's almost effortless for him, and he's laughing while he does it. I have no doubt that he could flip this car end over end if he wanted to. A guy from the bottom of the frame is going to walk up and instantly stop the car with his hands, right before it hits the parked car. I'm not sure if this is strength or some kind of force technology. He may have also increased his weight to accomplish this. Whatever the case, he does stop it when no one else could, and no human can do that. Dynamo is going to bench press 155 kilograms, 340 pounds. He says he weighs 112 pounds, 51 kilograms, so this is more than 3 times his normal body weight.
All yours.
If you're human, there's no way he could do this. But this is not a scrawny human. This is a giant alien compressed into a much smaller form, which still has far greater strength than a human of equivalent size. So you're really looking at a 10-foot tall, 600 to 800 pound creature lifting this weight. And its polymorphic ability gives it supernatural strength, regardless of the size of the muscles. He could press far more weight than this, but again, there's a limit to what they can show, even for him.
Давай! Хорошо. Не торопимся. Давай, не торопимся, сели. Давай, не торопись. И выпад, давай. Давай. Встаем! Давай!
I have a quarter. Quarter. Perfect. Okay.
This is either strength, or he's generating force and or heat from implanted devices. We'll look at force and heat generation later. Also notice that he's reverting the middle knuckles of his ring and middle fingers.
Just put your hands on my shoulders. On the count of 3, I want you all to push, yeah? One, 2, 3.
This is a combination of strength and weight increase. He may also be generating force to push against his back. The other 3 are probably pushing with close to their full human imitation strength, but if they went beyond that, they would push him over. Still, it shows that a Drac can be up to more than 3 times the strength of a male human, even in a small form like this one. This individual in Malaysia is going to pull a train with his teeth. If a human tried this, even the biggest and strongest man in the world, he wouldn't be able to move it at all, and he'd also lose some of his teeth. You see these kinds of events in professional strongman competitions, but they're not pulling quite this much weight, and they look like strongmen, so it's acceptable to show to the public. When it's Joe Average types flipping over cars and pulling trains, that's when it becomes questionable. A Drac in female imitation form could do this too, but that would be totally unacceptable to show. A small woman pulling a 10-ton vehicle, for example.
For the distance that was put.
On Wednesday, a strongman in Georgia moved a semi-truck weighing over 8 tons. This would be a feat for any strongman, but to make...
They don't have cartilage in their ears, but as you can see, they can make that tissue extremely resilient and rigid if they want to. If a human tried this, the cord would rip through the ear, and the vehicle wouldn't move at all.
Today I moved 8.5 tons.
The 207-pound strongman has tried his skills before, moving objects like an almost 10,000-pound minivan and a 17,000-pound helicopter. He is already planning his next record-setting event 2 weeks from now. He wants to beat his current record of 18,000 pounds and eventually be recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records.
He's reverting his horns to show that he's a Drac. Again, there's no way a human could do this. It would pull every single hair out of your chin, and you'd lose some skin too. But as you know, a Drac's imitation hair is made of living polymorphic tissue, skin cells formed into fibers, so they can make it as strong as steel. In effect, he's pulling that vehicle with steel fibers, and since they're part of the skin, they can't be pulled out. There are other videos out there of Dracs pulling or lifting heavy objects with small body parts. Noses, eyelids, earlobes, and even genitals. It's all the same. They can increase the strength of the tissues anywhere in their bodies, and you'll see more examples of this coming up. Lutho Lin is known as the Magnetic Man because he can make metallic objects stick to his body. But as shown in the upcoming video, he's not actually putting out a magnetic field. So he must be gripping the objects with his skin, either through a suction effect, by generating vacuum cups in his body below the objects, or by bonding with the metal at the cellular level, where the skin cells permeate the microscopic openings in the surface. If he did it with glass, you'd know if it's suction. But whatever the case, he's voluntarily moving his tissues around to achieve this, which is obviously shape-shifting. As you'll see, the bond is strong enough that he's able to pull a car from a metal plate stuck to his chest. Again, the V-sign leaves no doubt that he's a Drac, which explains why he can do this.
Known as Magnetic Man, 73-year-old Lutho Lin has been defying the laws of gravity for the past decade. Large metal objects inexplicably stick to his skin. And just using a metal plate stuck to his stomach, he can even pull a 1.5-ton car. He first discovered his bizarre powers when he was a construction worker, and his tools started sticking to him. They're the sort of feats that have attracted the interest of Dr. Mohammed Amin from Malaysia's University of Technology. He wanted to discover if the secret was a magnetic field.
There's no magnetic field that I can detect here.
They're quite extraordinary, which needs further investigation.
So far, the Magnet Man's bizarre powers has the experts baffled, but it does seem to be genetic. Lutho's grandchildren now have this unusual power. Well, sometimes.
There are many car jumping and parkour videos out there, and nearly all of the individuals doing this are Dracs. They could be doing this with pure strength, or it may be a combination of strength and levitation. Humans can't do this, and if you did make an attempt, you'd end up seriously injured or dead. The Dracs have nothing to fear, because even if they make a mistake, they can always levitate out of danger. And even if they get hit, they can regenerate their bodies back to normal. This guy and the next two are definitely using levitation. He's reverting his left hand to its native form. The talons are very clear on this one, as is the green skin tone. So this proves that he's a Drac. That's why he can do this. A human cannot perform this move, not without the use of technology anyway. He begins to morph his hand back to its human imitation form. Now he's reverting his right hand. Here are more demonstrations of levitation. These last two are flying, generating forward motion in addition to levitation. You've seen that they have great strength and agility. Now you're going to see how fast they can run. These are Russian police chasing a suspect. Later in the video, you're going to see an officer chasing the vehicle on foot. He's running so fast that he closes the distance in only a few seconds, and then gets into the vehicle through the passenger side door. They must be going at least 40 miles or 64 kilometers per hour. For him to catch up to the vehicle that fast, he'd have to be running close to 50 miles or 80 kilometers per hour. As you watch him run, notice how effortless it looks, like he's gliding. The date stamp on the video is a little hard to make out, but it looks like 4/13/2013 to me, so that would be another 13th, though not a Friday. I have seen unnaturally fast walking and running in person as well, though not as fast as this. The motion did look very similar to this, like they were gliding with very little resistance. So it's likely that they achieved this speed with the assistance of levitation, by making themselves lighter, and perhaps even generating force in the forward direction. Here's another police chase with an unnaturally fast runner, this time in the US. The officer at the back is going to quickly close on the suspect and then tackle him. While not nearly as fast as the Russian, he could be up around 30 miles or 48 kilometers per hour. It shouldn't be a surprise when I tell you that the vast majority of police officers are Dracs, and that's true all over the world. However, very few of them would actually use their abilities like this, though if they knew they weren't being recorded, some might. Now you're going to see demonstrations of their supernatural coordination, speed, and accuracy. Again, their plasticized forms are motivated by their polymorphic ability, so they don't have the limitations of a natural neuromuscular system. They can move their cells almost instantly with an extremely high degree of accuracy. For a human, no matter how much you train, you'll always be limited by the reaction time of the neuromuscular system. You might get lucky once in a while, but you cannot consistently succeed in these actions. Dracs can repeatedly perform these actions with a very high success rate.
That an archer in motion must be able to hit a blade so that the arrow splits in two parts, like this. Archers could also pick up enemy arrows and shoot them back, or grab arrows while on the move and fire them rapidly. There are even myths of archers who could grab an enemy's arrow and shoot it back at him. Lars took it a step further and is now able to catch an arrow while jumping and fire it before he hits the ground, whether rolling, running, or on horseback. It also, who can escape 10 arrows fired quickly after another? From old texts, we know that Saracen archers were expected to be able to fire 3 arrows in 1.5 seconds, and very skilled archers were even faster. Lars has managed to shoot 3 arrows in 0.6 seconds, but while speed is important, hitting the target is essential. To test accuracy and speed at the same time, Lars set up an experiment where he shot incoming arrows with arrows of his own. But he took it one step further. In the 1938 movie, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Robin Hood splits an arrow down the middle. Some consider this the ultimate archery trick. They're wrong. The ultimate archery trick is splitting an incoming arrow in two with one of your own. We do not recommend you trying this at home.
Here's a demonstration of strength and durability. Once again, you'll see him stick out his tongue to show that he's a Drac.
Flows through. And that inner energy, which we call chi,
through training and mental preparation, you are actually able to focus that chi throughout your body to protect yourself from getting hurt.
It's like a hero shot, you know. Totally.
He's either using pure strength to break these bricks, or he's assisted by technology, something inside his hand that projects a field of downward force on impact. This one breaks smaller stacks of bricks, but a large number of them in succession. He starts to fail towards the end, but early on, it looks so effortless that it makes me believe that he is using technology. If this is pure strength, then he must be at least 5 times as strong as an average man, and his hand and arm are much more resilient as well. A few times he failed to break the bricks at the top of the stack, but interestingly, the ones at the bottom did break. I think this is strong evidence that he's using technology. The focus of the field may have changed, so that it only generates force further away from his hand, but right below his hand, it's too weak to break the bricks. The only other possibility is that they're using extremely brittle bricks that break under vibration. But then why didn't the top bricks break? The Dracs built the pyramids using force technology, so it's entirely possible that's the technology we're seeing here, just a scaled-down version.
Bobby.
In this case, there's no question that it's some kind of force field that cuts the brick, that's either coming from his hand or the assistant's hands. He or she projected that field out at the moment the newspaper hit the brick, and it broke it quite cleanly. Again, this is how they cut those large blocks of stone in the past to build the pyramids and other structures. something that would have been impossible to do with just hand tools. And in part, that's why they're called the Masons. This force projection can obviously be used as a weapon as well. When used against a living creature, it would slice through tissue and fracture bone, basically acting as an invisible sword that can't be blocked. There are 2 more videos of Joe coming up later, and in the next one, you'll see him shapeshifting, which will prove that he's a Drac. Here's another demonstration of the force effect, and this time he's doing both pulling and pushing, and he also applies downward force to break a bottle. The official explanation is that it's either chi energy or telekinesis, and of course the debunkers will tell you that it's all faked. Some of it may be faked, but some of it is real. However, I don't think this is a natural biological energy. I believe that it's generated from a technological device implanted in the hand. That's why they always move their hands, including the so-called mentalists.
接下来是隔空移物。秋老见我们还意犹未尽，就又来了一手硬功夫。
He's demonstrating his resistance to being stabbed and cut, and that's definitely part of their polymorphic ability, which is biological.
Alright, let me take a bunch of cards. What's your card there? 5 of hearts. Show it to me.
This shows that they can project force into specific shapes with well-defined boundaries. Of course, he could do this without the cards. He's just using them to disguise the force effect, so it's not blatantly obvious. As you can see, most of the cards miss the impact area, and the force is almost instantaneous. You'll see the same kind of effect in the next clip, except that he applies the force for a few seconds to gradually create an imprint in the ground.
So, right? Hold it like this. Now watch.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I want that sort up there.
That one there, alright?
Yeah. Oh.
Just point to one, pick one.
Can I get a second from the left?
Second from the left, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, watch.
No. Go away.
So weird. Oh my god.
Is the person you're thinking of, don't say their name, but is it on that page?
Yeah.
Ben, will you put your hands like this? Perfect. And just look at me.
Oh.
I'm going to place the deck inside the pocket.
Right, in the pocket.
Watch.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. I had no idea when I was waking up today that I would see that.
Get in the car, over.
That's mad. You see it for real, and it's just phenomenal. I don't know, does it? I honestly don't have a clue.
What was the number?
19.
Look. Yeah, so imagine turn it a little bit and squeeze it and put the laces tight. Put them tight. Yeah? You got them? Got them. Watch. Just keep pulling. I let go.
There was once a time when the world was filled with mystery and magic. But as we become more and more connected, it's easy to miss the wonder that's all around us.
See that? No?
No. I know.
Do this? Like this, like that. Watch. Now let me show you something even crazier with one of your planes. Try this one?
Yeah.
Let me try. Watch.
Wow! This is amazing for a skinny guy. So many skinny guy.
No, sorry. So there's Rambo First Blood, which is kind of close. Yeah, and you could have had any film, right? Yeah. Watch this.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yo, that is nuts! What?
That will be blood. Can I take one of these coffees? Yeah, go for it. Alright. Can you just take the lid off, actually?
Take the lid?
Yeah.
Oh, take the lid off.
Take the lid. Watch.
Whoa!
Thank you very much. Match.
まずは手動のろくろの上に土を固定する。生徒たちに囲まれいよいよサプライズの扉が開かれる。ろくろに手をかざしゆっくりと指を回す。するとなんと手を触れずにろくろが回り始めた。そのスピードはますます加速していく。
Now check this out みんなよく見てくださいね。いきます。
一人でに回り続けるろくろ。続いてセロが手を触れることなく土に念を込める。するとなんと土が変化し始めた。そしてみるみる花瓶の形に。目を疑うような出来事に教室内が騒然とする。さらに親指で念を込めると花瓶の穴が出現。
皆さん
手を触れずに形づく。
This Taekwondo compilation demonstrates their exceptional physical abilities, strength, agility, speed, and durability. All of these individuals are Dracs. Humans simply cannot do this. If you had their levitation ability, assuming that it comes from technology, you might be able to execute some of these moves, but you wouldn't have that strength or durability. All of the great athletes are Dracs. That's why they can do these things, and they're not even showing you their full potential, not even close. This guy is doing standing backflips on only one leg. Try doing a standing backflip with both legs. None of you humans out there can do that, never mind one-legged. This is a straight up demonstration of regeneration. He's going to cut himself and then slowly regenerate the tissue.
Oh my god, stop, 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 no, no, no!
He could regenerate almost instantly, faster than the camera could pick up at this frame rate. But he's regenerating slowly so you can see it progress. You can even see that blood drip pull back in. So this shows that they can completely recover from injuries where the tissue isn't separated too far. From injuries caused by blades, blunt impacts, and non-explosive bullets. However, if the pieces of tissue are separated by a large gap, they may not be able to pull them back together. So explosive rounds will be much more effective. As you know, they can displace their cells to create holes in the tissue. That's what he's doing here. He's opened a hole down to one of his veins, allowing some blood to escape. It's also possible that he's using portals to translocate the needle point into his body, but the first case is more likely. Jonathan is going to demonstrate their ability to withstand physical impacts, at least if they're prepared for it. Everyone you see here is a Drac, including the girls. So they all know he's in no danger of being injured.
We're going to do it, so we're going to do it. What I didn't tell you about Oofty Goofty, you're a boxer?
Cage fighter.
You're a cage fighter,
yeah.
Even better. He did this with the baseball bat until he met a man called John L. Sullivan. He was a champion boxer, and Oofty Goofty gave Sullivan the baseball bat. And even though Oofty didn't wince when Sullivan hit him, he did break 4 of his vertebrae. And ultimately, that swing killed him. This one's for Oofty. Do you want to step up? Stand up for me for a second. You're a big guy. Okay, come stand over here. Stand behind me.
Sure you want to do this?
No, but we'll give it a go.
He doesn't even flinch when he gets hit by the bat. He's using his polymorphic ability to make the tissue more resilient and move the nerves out of the way so he doesn't feel any pain. If he actually did get damaged there, he could just regenerate. If they don't see it coming, you may be able to hurt them momentarily. But unless it's lethal or knocks them unconscious, they'll just regenerate those damaged parts. If they do see it coming, then you have no chance. They could stop a decapitation attempt by increasing the thickness of the tissue around their necks and making it extremely hard. So if you think you're going to take out a Drac up front with conventional weapons, you're mistaken. You wouldn't hurt them, and then they would tear you apart, even in their human imitation forms. This is from a street camera in Reading, England. The guy walking in the street is going to get hit by a bus, and then stand up and walk away uninjured. Obviously, he's a Drac, and there's no doubt about this impact because it's a vehicle moving at a certain speed, so we know that there's a lot of force behind the hit. Watching the video, it's clear to me that this event was not random, that it was planned. Several things make me believe this. 1. The bus driver doesn't make any attempt to slow down, and the way the bus moves, it looks like he's intentionally trying to hit the guy. 2. The bus appears to be empty, yet you can see that the bus before it has passengers. And why are there two buses running the same route at the same time? 3. There wasn't really an investigation afterwards. No explanation and no arrests made. 4. Look at the time. 9/11. Coincidence? I don't think so. They set this up to demonstrate that there are people here who are not human. Because no human could possibly walk away from that without any injuries. In fact, most humans would probably die. So they are trying to show you the truth here, and it certainly does demonstrate how remarkably durable they are. Baseball bats and buses. They're basically invulnerable to impact forces, at least when they anticipate it. Here's another quote-unquote accident, this time from China. The guy makes no attempt to slow down or avoid the truck. He rams straight into it. And then he flies through the air, going into a flip so that he actually lands on his feet. The force carries him out of the frame, but a few seconds later, he walks back to the bike uninjured. This was another planned event to demonstrate their durability and body control, to show that they can't possibly be human. It should be clear now that his ability to do this comes from levitation. That's how he was able to land on his feet. He slowed himself down in midair and rotated his body. To the humans out there, imagine yourself in that position. The initial impact alone would cause serious injuries, maybe fatal. And then you'd hit the pavement going very fast, in only a t-shirt and jeans. Your chances of surviving would be about 0, yet he got back up without any injuries at all. If he did have injuries, he regenerated right after, so he's back to normal again. This is taking it a step further from the bus impact, as you're going to see this individual jump off the roof of this building and hit the pavement face down. And then he's going to stand up and walk away uninjured. It's called a suicide attempt, but it's clearly not. He's demonstrating how resilient they are to impacts. Obviously, if he were human, he would be dead. However, looking at this, you can see that he did take some damage when he hit the ground. There's a splatter of body fluids emanating from his head, and it looks like there's some blood in there. So his skull did split from the impact, and it's likely that he broke other bones as well, but he regenerated almost instantly after that. He probably switched his cells to a semi-fluid state before he hit the ground, so that the force would be more evenly distributed over his body. It's also possible that he used levitation or force fields to lessen the impact, but he obviously still hit the ground very hard. The real danger for him is that if he loses consciousness, he can't regenerate until he wakes up. Shapeshifting and regeneration are purely conscious acts. They don't just happen on their own when the individual is unconscious, unlike healing, which happens all the time. He showed that they can be damaged with a strong enough force, but if they're still conscious after the impact, they'll just regenerate back to normal.
This is not a trick or illusion. His legs are being crushed by the steamroller. But as you know now, it's not a problem for a Drac. He switches the cells to the fluid state, and he compresses them as much as possible, so they flatten out like dough under a rolling pin. And as the roller moves off his legs, he regenerates them back to normal. However, as I discussed earlier, He wouldn't be able to compress his vital organs to this extent without them failing. So if he tried the same thing with his torso or head, he would die.
Get it off me! Get it off me!
This one is also going to demonstrate resistance to impacts and penetration. Again, the official explanation is chi energy, but it's really his polymorphic ability which allows him to do this.
Whoa. I mean, are you impressed?
Certainly it's an impressive feat, but I think physics kind of explains how this is happening.
And once again, Hu Qi-Yong prepares using only the power of Qi. One tiny slip, and this spear could slice through his windpipe.
This could be weight reduction or levitation, but I think it's as described, that he's increased the resistance of his body at those points.
Let's see. The drill seems real, so how are we going to figure out if he's doing it for real or not?
I'm going to use these pressure transducers on the actual handle of the drill, which will record the pounds per square inch that's being exerted.
Okay.
He's able to increase the resistance of the tissue in a small area where he knows contact is going to take place. But that doesn't necessarily mean he can do it over his entire body all at once. He might also find it difficult to resist a narrow drill bit, since there would be more pressure on a smaller area. They would know what the limitations are, but I don't. Of course, their skin is much harder and thicker in the native form, so they can achieve even greater toughness.
Wow, that's totally 100% real. You can see the blood. There's even blood on the drill bit. So how come it's not going through his neck? What's going on?
I really don't know. It certainly looks like he's pushing. It's certainly getting through that first layer of skin. Why it's not going further, I don't know.
I mean, it went through the wood.
It did.
But I want to know if Hu is just holding the drill, or if he's actually pushing it into his body.
You can see we've got a range anywhere from about 30 psi to about 50 psi.
Well, I just want to make sure I know what's going on. If it's 50 pounds per square inch, does that mean there's 50 pounds of pressure going against his throat?
All of that force is going against his neck. The area of his hand against that back of the drill is probably about 2 inches. Potentially we're looking at around 100 pounds of that drill bit right against his neck.
And if the drill bit's smaller, would that increase the pressure? Because it's smaller than an inch for sure. It's like a half an inch.
Correct. So the smaller the drill bit is, the higher the pressure against his neck.
So theoretically, it could be up to 200 pounds.
Correct. You would get about 200 pounds of force.
The data confirms that Hu is pushing with a pressure of up to 200 pounds. That's like having a heavyweight boxer standing on the back of the drill, and enough to pierce steel. It's now time for Hu to drill his head.
All right, you ready? All
right. Once again, the data confirms that Hu is pushing with a pressure of up to 200 pounds per square inch.
It's difficult to ascertain how an individual goes about attempting this without resulting in some injury.
So it's just a mystery?
It's a mystery to me, certainly.
He's showing some reversions here. The lateral neck creases or folds in the left frame, The neck tendons and cords, right clavicle muscle, and deltoid vein in the middle frame, and in the right frame, the side tendon, and perhaps part of the large lateral skin fold. So he's showing you the real reason why he can do this. He's a Drac using his polymorphic ability, not a human focusing chi energy. This is Mirandejo, which is the stage name he's known by. He demonstrated that he could survive being run through with swords numerous times, without pain, bleeding, or damage to his internal organs. His story was that he learned this technique from Eastern mystics, but now you know how he really did it. He was a Drac who used his polymorphic ability to compress and move his internal organs. It's possible that he was able to create a channel through his body before the sword went through, either by opening holes in his organs, or just by switching the cells to the fluid state. That way, there would be very little resistance pushing the blade through, and it would penetrate bone as well. Even if an organ was damaged, he could simply regenerate it when the blade was pulled out. To avoid bleeding and pain, he moved the blood vessels and nerves out of the path of the blade. That's how he did it, and all Dracs can do this, but he was the only one willing to demonstrate it to this extent. If a human were to try this, the first attempt would probably be fatal, and no human could just stand there calmly while they're being run through. Mirren also claimed that he had been shot through the head a couple of times, and I believe him. Earlier I discussed how they'd be able to compress their brains down to the stem, so that supports his claim. Even if the brain gets hit, they can regenerate it, provided that they don't lose consciousness, or there isn't an explosive exit wound. Here's confirmation of him being a Drac. He has the spinal ridge coming out, the lateral forearm vein, and an elongated left thumb. I've seen him shapeshifting in all of his footage, and he frequently does the half blink. The mystery of Mirandejo has been revealed, and his contribution was very valuable. Here's another one demonstrating body penetration, from the movie The Mutations. It doesn't show him putting the needle through his neck, though it seems that there would have originally been footage of that. However, I can understand why they'd cut that out. They do show partial penetration here, and you can see that he's still smiling, which seems to suggest that there isn't any pain. I can't say for certain though, because they can generate any facial expression they want, regardless of their physical or emotional state.
You're gonna become the magician, okay? I'll help you though. I'll start. See how the needle looks? Like, see how it looks like it's going into the arm? See that?
Yeah.
See how it really looks?
Is this selfish? That I think that if that goes through your arm, it might hurt me as well. There might be collateral damage. Oh, that's... Oh, no, what the fuck? Seriously? This is mental. What? That's mental.
See how it really looks?
Sorry, David, seriously. This isn't a trick. You're just sticking a needle through your fucking arm. What are you doing?
See how it looks?
That's fucking horrible.
How it looks, Ricky? Like it's really...
You're a maniac.
You see how it looks like
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing?
You see how it really believably
Oh, God.
looks?
I'm not good with this. That's crazy.
You see that?
How the fuck are you... Wait, what do you mean, how are you doing it? You've stuck a needle through your fucking arm.
It looks pretty real, right?
Sorry, I don't understand. How is that not real? What do you mean it looks pretty real?
It's the same as what I just did to you.
What? This is all glue?
Well, it looks really real, right?
I don't understand. Right, okay. Obviously, if that is a trick, how is that a trick? How is that not a needle going through your fucking arm?
You know what, Ricky, here, do me a favor. Grab the needle right here.
Yeah?
And pull it out so you can see the magic trick. Go ahead, grab it. Yeah, good.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Pull it out
Sure.
although it's come?
Yeah, pull it out. Good. Just pull it right out.
Right, okay.
Pull it out.
Is that needle going through your arm?
Well, pull it out and you'll see how it works. Pull it.
Oh, fuck me! I don't understand.
Pull. Pull.
Oh, David, what have you done? Are you a maniac? This is real. Sorry, this is real. That's real. That's not a trick. Oh, for fuck's sake.
No pain, no blood, and no holes. He regenerated the tissue almost instantly as the needle was pulled out. This one is able to drive nails or spikes into his nose, which would go through the bone in a human skull. He does it the same way Mirren did, by creating a channel through his skull, either by making a hole or by switching the cells to the fluid state. If he damages his skull, he just regenerates it. In the photo on the right, he's reverting the tendons and cords in his neck, as well as the lateral creases in the skin. On the left, he's reverting the nose cleft, forehead ridges, and scale segments in his upper and lower lip on the right side of his mouth. He's going to use his polymorphic ability to move this necklace through the tissue, so that it comes out of his abdomen. This is similar to how Mirandejo passed the blades through his body. The skin closes almost instantly as the necklace is pulled out. If that were human skin or rubber, there would be a hole there. But those skin cells have all returned to their normal positions, faster than the frame interval of the camera.
K-A. What's your first name?
Kristen.
Kristen, and your last name?
Ashe.
Ashe, okay. Is that your signature?
First I want you to do, yeah, is just want you to just go hold my chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's grabbing it. Mum, come in. Bring everyone in.
Hold my chain. Wait, hold on. In a second, I'm going to start moving. I want you to try and pull it right through my neck. Right from the back. Through my neck, yeah.
I'm scared.
I'll help out.
Oh my God. He just pulled this chain out of his neck.
The right side of the necklace is coming straight out of his throat, so it's definitely inside his neck. This shows that they can regenerate decapitations as long as the head isn't forcibly separated from the body, and that the blade isn't wide enough to cover the entire neck as it passes through. So a guillotine would permanently decapitate them, since the blade would block the cells from coming back together. Here's another demonstration of that, except that it's done faster with a bigger chain.
Physical world can be bent or even broken. And I want you to examine it, pull on it, make sure it is what it is, a chain. Solid, right?
It's a real chain? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Watch. You're gonna stand over here for me?
Right.
Grab this gently. Grab this gently. All right, now get it taut. So that's good, just like that. On the count of 3, I'm going to tell you to pull. It's a pull. Just don't stop in the middle.
You're kidding, right?
No, on 3, just pull it and don't stop, all right? I'm going to tell you when on 3. Is this fair? Is this around my neck?
Yeah.
You can see it's completely fair, right?
Yep.
All right, on 3. 1. 2, 3.
He goes too fast to see the chain pass through his neck, but I'm quite certain that it does. It's not a trick or illusion, and he's not working with demons. This is a shape-shifting alien using his polymorphic ability to pass the chain through his neck. He's going to cut off this guy's arm, or at least the appearance of that. The point of his magic axe is to demonstrate their polymorphic ability and advanced technology, so I believe that he does in fact cut his arm off.
Give me something, anything. It's cool, what are you talking? I'm gonna go like this. Just open up his, raise his sleeve up, right? You wanna do that a little bit? What do you wanna do, Joaquin? Yeah. No, this is fine, this is cool. We'll do this, but we'll do it further up. Like this. Okay, you're shooting this, right? I just want to get this nice on his arm, just like this. Ayo, you keep that hand like that. Keep holding him good. Just get this. Perfect. Okay, and then can you come over here? Just feel his arm. Just go like that. Feel it? You feel it? Okay. Feel his arm? Yeah. Okay, good? Okay. Fair? Yes. Okay, good. And just hold that just like that, okay?
In order to ensure my volunteer is completely calm, hypnotizing him was absolutely necessary.
He sticks his tongue out to show that he's a Drac.
Into close when they feel like they are completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. Just forget about any sounds that you might hear. I just want you to be completely relaxed. Forget about any sounds that you might hear. You're in the moment. You're in that happy place. Nothing is going to affect that moment. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Just relaxing.
If you're using portals to split the arm, there wouldn't be any blood. So the only other possibility is that it's robotic prosthesis. But again, the point of this is to show something real, not fake.
I want you in your mind right now, I want you to think about pointing right now. Point, 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 point. Now, I want you to close and make a fist right now. Make a fist. You're making a fist. You're making a tight fist. You're making a tight fist. You're making a tight fist.
If that's actually his arm, it shows that they have telepathic control over their cells. They don't need a nervous system to motivate their bodies. That supports what we saw earlier with their demonstrations of their coordination and reflexes. Unlike a natural body, their impulses don't need to travel up and down the nerves. As soon as they think it, the cells move. So the thought and sense impulses are basically instantaneous. That's why they can hit arrows and BBs while they're in flight. David is going to eat glass. Notice that he sticks his tongue out a few times to show that he's a Drac.
It's a real glass? Yeah.
Of course.
There's more fish.
Is it beyond magic animals?
He's just having a drink.
That's the drink. That's the drink.
If a human tried this, the entire digestive system would get torn up, from the mouth to the intestine. But Dracs can chew and ingest almost anything without any apparent ill effects. Glass, metal, rubber, plastic, and perhaps even strong acids, as you'll see shortly. It's their polymorphic ability which allows them to do this, as they can manipulate these objects inside their bodies and make their tissues resistant to any damage they might cause. Again, if the tissue does get damaged, they just regenerate it. We know that Arnold is a Drac, so he can do this too. Michel Latino ate tons of glass, metal, rubber, and plastic in his life. By doing these kinds of things, they're trying to show you that they're not human. But humans are too dumb to recognize that. They lack any ability to reason out the most evident truths.
Michel Lotito is a curiosity for the scientific world. This Frenchman is able to swallow anything, even metal. He's already eaten a plane, dozens of bicycles and trolleys, thousands of glasses, and nuts. Michel Lotito is both a gourmet and an exceptional record breaker. You shouldn't be surprised if you see him ignore a ham or chicken while doing his weekly shopping with his wife, because the food that he's keen on is usually found in the do-it-yourself department. For this is a man who, when he eats in a restaurant, carefully prepares his selection of top-quality products. The sharper, the more breakable or piercing the ingredients, the better the meal will be. Naturally, not every restaurant can cater for a man that the whole world has nicknamed Mr. Eats-All. Though at Chez Jackie, it's a mixed salad for Marcel, while Mr. Eats-All is already greedily eyeing his favorite starter, one that he prepares so well. Just like you cut off a slice of meat from a roast, well, I break mine with a hammer and I eat it. It's delicious. And how's yours? Mine is really delicious. He certainly seems to be enjoying it, but despite appearing relaxed, Mr. Eats-All is a master of his art, which is first and foremost a great control over his body. A superb concentration without which he could have had an accident with the smallest of his extravagances. As you can see from this x-ray, the chewing technique for these ingredients is essential for a good preparation. The next stage, the esophagus, that's tricky. There's the risk of tearing the delicate tissues as the sharp objects go down. In addition to his contractions, Mr. Eats-All has a little trick to make them slide down into his stomach. After all that, would you care for a dessert?
Non, pas pour moi.
No, not for me. I don't eat bananas. No, thank you. When I eat a banana and I have metal in my stomach, it causes heartburn, and as I'm soft, I hate pain, so unfortunately, I can't eat bananas.
Les bananes, malheureusement, je les mange pas.
Too bad, or rather, just as well, for Marcel loves them. Mr. Lotito prefers a different delicacy. Chewing, swallowing, and digesting the sharpest object possible is a challenge which, with experience, really excites our man.
This one is going to drink what he claims is hydrofluoric acid. He does some obvious shape-shifting and reverting, so there's no question he's a Drac.
Grab a spoon and hold the acid up here where you can see it. Put that in here. Okay. With that, see what happens here.
It breaks that metal down very quickly, but hydrofluoric acid dissolves organic matter much more slowly. It takes hours to see any changes. However, it would be fatal for a human to absorb a significant amount through the skin, or certainly ingest it.
Okay, wow. Ooh, that is strong material, hot. But look, my hand is totally unharmed. It is very, very good. This max is unbelievable. Well, let's not go halfway. Let's do something even a little more radical and test max further. I'm going to take a few sips of max if I can coat my lips and mouth and throat. Get a little bit in my stomach. And that is very good. Max is good tasting, and it's a friend to the body, unlike acid. Okay, I'm going to take a glass here. Remove the lid once more from our canister of acid and pour a little acid here. Well, that's even reacting a little bit with the glass there, you can see. Okay. That lid back on there. And, my friends, here we go, the moment of truth. Yeah. That is potent stuff, potent.
If he were human, he would die from this, just not immediately. I can't verify that it's hydrofluoric acid, but whatever it is, it must be highly toxic. At a minimum, it shows that they can safely ingest some toxic compounds that are harmful to humans. It could be that he's blocking absorption into the bloodstream, or it's being absorbed, and the cells are simply immune to the effects. So if you tried to poison one of them, you might find that it has no effect. You can see that he's reverting his neck tendons and cords in the left frame, some scales around his mouth in the middle frame, and his extra lip in the right frame. I'm sure you also noticed him frequently sticking his tongue out. I took these screenshots with the in-loop locking filter disabled, otherwise the features are blurry. Stevie Star has been around for a long time, demonstrating his ability to swallow objects, manipulate them inside his body, and then bring them back up.
Wedding ring. Wedding ring looks very, very expensive. So still, I have a ring, and I put it. That's fine. I'm putting a ring inside me, okay?
No!
I swallowed her ring.
Okay, you literally did. Her ring is gone.
I have.
Open your mouth, let's see it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, it is gone.
So, I have here for you one lock and key. Would you kindly lock that for me, please? Remove the key and make sure it is definitely locked.
Okay, that seems locked. How does that locking it? There we go. Let me
Is it
feel.
locked?
Let me feel. Yeah. There you go, just to double check. Oh, that's proper locked.
Okay. Can you put the lock in my mouth?
His mouth and it's gone. It's
Would
gone.
you put the key in, please?
Wait.
Thank you. Oh, you can chuck it in.
In your mouth.
Yeah,
You got the key in his
gotta
mouth.
give Stevie some of the key.
The key's there.
So, what I'm about to do is, I'm going to put the key back into the lock.
Is this the first part?
I'm going to unlock the lock. Okay. Find your ring. I will then put your ring into the lock.
No.
Lock it. Remove the key. And return it back to you locked inside. So I'll do this right this second.
These objects may not be going into his stomach. He may have generated a pocket somewhere in his esophagus, where he catches the objects and manipulates them. He also generates finger-like appendages inside that pocket, which allow him to feel the objects and manipulate them, just as you would with your hand. I believe that's how he's doing this. The only other possible explanation is that the objects are being teleported out of his mouth, manipulated by someone else, and then teleported back into his mouth. Either way, it's not a conventional magic trick.
The beauty is, it's hot, but it's absolutely bone dry. Nothing will come up wet, ever.
No.
Nothing will ever be wet. You can make sure that's locked, completely locked. Man. Oh yeah, we've got to check that's your ring.
Was that just in your stomach?
My ring came dry.
Would you like
Out
the
of
key?
yes.
Oh yes. Oh, now the key's gone a little far. Okay. So I have a snooker ball.
No.
That is
No.
absolutely genuine, yes?
That is a proper snooker ball.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ball down. When the ball hits the bottom, the key to the lock will automatically return, and then the ball will return after that. So, I'm going to put the ball in, put it in the key, and I'm going to lock.
Oh no. Oh! He just made a whole entire snooker ball disappear. And the key's back! And the snooker ball is
You put
back!
that back in there, that should unlock, and you will have your ring to your lock. So,
And it's not even a different key, that is the same key, the same lock, and her wedding ring is back.
And they're all dry.
No, yeah, nothing is ever wet.
But
Even
it
the
comes
ball
out
is-
of your mouth.
It's dry. When it's in there, it's wet, but when it's coming up, I dry it. When I dry it, everything comes up.
He says he dries them when they come up. His polymorphic ability gives him total control of the water molecules in his body, so he can pull them back in and effectively dry the objects. Stevie shows a lot of skin reversions in this video. He's reverting his mouth and lower lip gaps in the left frame, the scales on his cheek and temple in the middle frame, and a gap in his upper lip in the right frame, which is probably the edge of a scale segment. As you can see, he's not doing this to entertain you. He's trying to show you the truth. But most humans are too stupid to recognize it. All they can do is laugh and go on with their mindless existence. Joey Chestnut has won many hot dog eating contests, and in his latest attempt, he downed more than 70 of them. Even as dumb as most humans are, looking at this should cause them to question how this is possible, because a human stomach cannot possibly hold anywhere near 70 hot dogs and buns. 70 hot dogs and buns would basically fill your entire abdominal cavity. Mr. Chestnut is able to do this because he's a Drac, which he's making clear in these photos. And in these contests, they're under a time limit, so they're not chewing them up much. They're going down in large chunks, which wouldn't be possible for a human either. I believe that they can compress food and liquids when they enter their bodies, anything that has a high water content. So these hot dogs are being compressed to a very small size inside his stomach. He could also expand his stomach and compress his other organs, so that his stomach takes up most of the space in his abdominal cavity. Even without compressing the food, he might be able to hold 70 hot dogs just by expanding his stomach. An X-ray would show what's really going on, but they would never do that. I know that they can compress urine inside their bodies, because several times I've heard Dracs urinate extremely large volumes. One time I heard one of them urinating heavily for a very long time, close to a minute. It sounded like a horse urinating. So the fluid obviously decompresses as it leaves the body. I've spoken to one of them recently who claimed that he had a friend who could urinate for 5 minutes straight. I was skeptical, but he insisted that it was true, and he had told me the truth about some other things. After all, we know that they can achieve remarkable levels of cellular compression, and that's mostly water in there. Imhop, known as the Iceman, is able to withstand sub-freezing temperatures for very long periods of time, basically naked, without its core body temperature decreasing. He probably does this by generating an insulative layer of tissue beneath the skin, like fat, but much more efficient. Or perhaps even a thermally reflective layer that works like mylar. They can also pull their veins deeper into their bodies to conserve heat. They tell you that they achieve these feats through spiritual means, but no matter how spiritual you are, no human can survive naked in freezing temperatures for hours, and that includes me. Like the horns and V signs, the 666 sign tells you that the individual is a Drac. He's reverting his neck tendons to show that he's a Drac, obviously not human anatomy.
The first minute in ice-cold water is the most dangerous. Your body goes into a panic-like cold shock, which can trigger a heart attack. But it has no effect on Vim.
This one is going to pour liquid nitrogen on his hand. The official explanation is that it's a Leidenfrost effect, which makes it safe to do this. Yet they all warn you not to try it yourself. That's because they know that a human will get hurt doing this. It has nothing to do with the Leidenfrost effect. All these individuals are Dracs using their polymorphic ability to resist the cold.
Still around. Science. Awesome.
And to run with, and so no one can say fake. I did it again, but filmed it closer up.
He's melding his middle and ring fingers together to show that he's a Drac. This one is going to put liquid nitrogen in his mouth. If he were human, this would destroy the inside of his mouth. But since he's a Drac, he's unharmed.
Okay. Now, see, that's burning my tongue. That burns. But that's okay. Now, I've got this thing. I bought these.
He's reverting the wrist bulge in the left frame and just forearm muscles in the right frame. He also morphs his face several times in the video. This is a demonstration of their resistance to heat, as you'll see that this guy is able to put his hands in boiling oil without getting burned or showing any sign of pain.
دما خبرونو تاسو چې دا موبایل ګورئ نو په دې باندې 100% یقین کوئ کنه دما خواله راځي دما د طرفه لس زره او تاسو له طرفه پیسې نه او چې تل څونه ګرمول شنو ګرموي ته ماته دا خبره یو ځل د ګرمول او دې ګرمول او دا وتیر بلاس کې ما ته خیر شي اعوذ بالله من الشیطان الرجیم بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم لا تنفعل.
He's decompressed his right hand here and reduced it to a crude form. He's also removed the texture from the skin, so it looks like plastic. So this proves that he's a Drac shapeshifter, and that tells you why he has this ability to resist heat. I suppose if they can generate a reflective layer to keep heat in, they can also reflect it back on the other side. I don't know how they do it exactly, but I know that they can maintain normal core body temperatures during prolonged exposure to hot or cold conditions, conditions that would be debilitating or even fatal to humans. This one is going to put burning coals in his mouth, and it appears that he chews and swallows them. Speaking to the humans, you know what happens when you eat food that's too hot. It burns the roof of your mouth, causing layers of tissue to peel off. It also makes your tongue sore and somewhat numb for a while. Imagine putting something in your mouth that's 10 times hotter. That's what he's doing. This does show that they have a very high resistance to heat and burning, again, at least when they're prepared for it. However, I'm quite certain that their cells will burn and die at a high enough temperature. The temperatures produced by burning metals, like phosphorus, magnesium, and aluminum, should be high enough to cause damage. Those are the metals typically used in incendiary rounds. You can see that he's doing some serious shape-shifting. In the left frame, it looks like he's pulled back the soft tissue from the ends of his ring and pinky fingers, leaving the bones exposed. From the earlier examples we saw, we know that this is possible. I suppose those could be talons, but they look like bones to me. In the next frame to the right, those are definitely talons, as they're clearly curved and pointed at the ends. The two frames on the right side are the horns being reverted. These screenshots were taken with the in-loop deblocking filter disabled, which is why the horns look more pronounced than they do in the running video. That 5-pointed star on his shirt is a pentagram, and that's the symbol they use to signify themselves. I'll discuss that in more depth in the following section.
Test 1. This is a flame-broiled iron chain, the kind you would find in a hardware store. And yes, he's going to touch it with his bare hands. Don't ever try this at home.
This thing is white hot.
We've all heard the phrase red hot, which sounds and is pretty darn hot. About 1450 degrees Fahrenheit, actually. But that's not hot enough for the master, so we went to white hot, 2700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt stainless steel.
Can we bring the lights down just a tad bit, guys, to look at this? Look at this. Yeah, touch it with your... So how hot this actually... Oh, look at that. This is newspaper.
Master Joe will attempt to run his bare hands across the white-hot iron chain. Repeat, never try this at home.
Focusing. Just a little bit of soot, but no burns, it doesn't. Is there any burns on there, Doctor?
No. No, there's just some...
Can you do it one more time?
Can we see it once more?
Even at this point, that iron chain is at least 1000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Back and forth. Nothing.
Watch that again. Placing a white-hot iron bar against his bare tongue.
Okay, here we go, right on the tongue. So you can see the steam coming out of there.
We know what you're thinking, but let's look at it again from a different angle. His tongue is really touching that red-hot bar. He's licking that slab of metal like it's a cherry popsicle.
He's got full function. He's moving it. There's no blisters. There's nothing, no indication of a burn.
So far, we've performed these tests under close medical scrutiny. Our reaction? Amazement, sure. Bafflement, absolutely. And also a burning desire, no pun intended, to up the ante. So the master offered to bite a piece of hot iron in half. That sounds like he's upping the ante. Again, very dangerous. Don't even think of trying this at home. You could do permanent damage to your mouth, lips, and tongue.
I'm ready, let's eat.
They can withstand high temperatures for very short periods of time, but prolonged contact will burn them. At times, the coal eater appeared somewhat pained, so that says that he was close to the limit of his heat tolerance. I'm sure you noticed that Joe's hands were shaking after he ran them across the chain several times, so had he gone any slower, he would have been burned. The highest temperature of that chain is still well below the ignition point of incendiary rounds. They would not be able to resist that much heat inside their bodies. Here's the proof that Joe is a Drac. He's reverting the forked tips of his tongue here, which are much longer than the previous examples we saw. He's morphed his teeth into long, thin shapes, and there's no motion in the right frame, so there's no doubt about that one. He's clearly reverting his eyes here, as the irides have shifted into slits, the sclerae have turned greenish, and the eyeballs have increased in size. He's also reverting his nose and mouth, as you can see that the left nostril has turned out to the side. Notice how he moves his teeth side to side with his tongue. That's also shape-shifting. It may look like he's wearing dentures, but he's not. He's elongating his maxilla downward so the teeth drop below the lip. That's shape-shifting as well.
claims he has the power to heat metal, so I've given him some aluminum foil. He says the foil must be wrapped in a paper towel to reduce risk of burning the patient. And all the materials must be doused in water to stop them from bursting into flames.
This time, Joe is going to generate a field from his hand that raises the temperature of conductive materials.
And try to find out how this is even possible. Within seconds, the temperature begins to rise to over 40 degrees higher than a normal human being should be able to generate. And continues to climb.
And it looks as though something is transferring from his hands, which were fairly normal at 91, to the towel, which is 157.
Like 170?
And we're seeing steam not coming off.
Unbelievably, the heat becomes so intense that steam begins to rise from the towel.
Yeah, we're seeing steam in like 185, 190 from the towel. I mean, there's no way you're generating that kind of heat from just friction of rubbing your hands together.
The temperature of the foil is increasing, but the temperature of his hand is staying more or less constant. He must be putting out an electromagnetic field that affects conductors like metal and mineralized water. When you get close to a source of strong microwave radiation, you can feel it heating up your body, which is how a microwave oven works, by vibrating water molecules at 2.4 gigahertz. That's basically what's going on here. It may be the same device that's used to generate the force effect, just tuned to a different frequency, so it produces heat instead of force.
The heat's still rising, even though I replaced the water personally. Kind of big at 170, 171, 175. And I thought I had it figured out. And when we replace the water, he can still generate heat.
And it's going high. It's 176, and there's steam coming out of the paper towel now. Well, there's visible steam coming off of there.
Hello.
160, 170.
You got a peak of 183?
Yeah.
185.
185, 190.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No.
How would you explain this?
You know, there is no Western explanation for this, Daniel.
Here's another demonstration of heat generation. He's going to burn an imprint of this coin into the glass. Obviously, he's getting up to a much higher temperature than what Joe is putting out.
Oh, shit! What the...
Now he's going to melt glass with his bare hand.
Yeah, this'll do.
He generates an even higher temperature this time, as he partially melts his coins together. Like the force effect, this could be used as a weapon, though it appears that the heat has a shorter range than the force. He's morphed the fingers of his right hand to very short lengths, except for the thumb, which is elongated. As he moves his hand, those four fingers are going to elongate, while the thumb stays about the same length. So this is the real explanation for his magic. He's a Drac using advanced technology and his supernatural abilities. He also appears to demonstrate an ability to read minds, in some form of time manipulation. But that's not something I can verify through these examples. I did speak to a Drac who told me that they can read minds, and this is also part of some vampire mythologies, so it may be true.
Watch this.
This must be a combination of heat and force. He heats the ball to make it malleable, and then he generates an ovoid force field around it to make it conform to that shape. That's probably what's going on here.
He just squeezed it in like here's like, I don't know if it's bouncing. It is, bro, look.
This one also looks like heat and force. As you'd expect, the stem has a smaller diameter than it did originally, and the glass in there is probably less dense.
feels and looks solid.
Now you're going to see a demonstration of heat removal, which turns water to ice. I've experienced something like this in person, so I know it's possible. This stream has clearly been flash frozen. That curved piece at the back would never form with water that had frozen gradually. The water droplets on the fountain are also frozen in place, and some were frozen mid-air and fell. As I said, I've experienced this kind of sudden heat drain in person. I was sitting next to an individual who I now know is the Draco. My body temperature was normal until I began to feel cold on that side. After a few minutes, my arm and leg became painfully cold, and my fingers and toes started turning numb. It was fairly warm inside, yet that side of my body felt like it was exposed to freezing temperatures. She was generating an aura of cold, but from what I can remember, it didn't make the air colder, just my body. So it seems they can selectively target specific areas within that radius. They're either draining heat from the environment by drawing it into their bodies like a heat sink, or they're directly reducing the vibrational energy of the molecules. Either way, this ability must come from the same kind of technology they use to generate heat.
Electrical currents in his body, to the point that he could give another person a shock. He could also channel his energy in another way. He could produce fire with his naked hand.
This guy appears to burn paper without any conductive materials present. That would mean that he's using direct heat, which I suppose is possible. We know that infrared lasers can produce extremely high temperatures at the focal point, so that may be the same principle we're seeing here. I also know that they can use these devices to attack a target's nervous system, inducing biological dysfunction and ultimately heart failure. I've experienced these kinds of attacks many times. So it seems that these devices can generate a wide range of frequencies to produce different effects: force, heat, light, microwave, and psychotronic radiation. Or they're using different devices for each effect. Whatever the case, they can generate all of those field effects. In the first part, it says that his body is able to store and release electrical charge, and we'll look at those characteristics next. The last physical ability, or attribute, that we're going to look at is their resistance to electricity. This individual is going to get hit by tasers 3 or 4 times whenever you hear that loud pop, and then the repeated electrical shocks after that. As you'll see, he's unaffected by this for the most part, and 2 of the shots are basically point blank, so we know the needles are in his skin.
Do it! Do it! Ah! Get down! Get down!
Oh shit! Oh my god! Get him again! Holy shit! Holy crap, dude!
No one go outside. Do not go outside.
Lock the doors if anything. Holy crap, he's still going. Holy crap, dude.
And nice drugs, everyone.
Dude, he's running.
He's running. He's running.
Oh my god, dude, how's this guy still standing? What the hell? Yeah, dude, someone give me a thing.
Get the screwdriver. Screwdriver.
Holy crap, dude.
He's running. He's running.
Dude, they tased him like 3 times. Lock the door. Lock the door.
Lock the fucking door.
Oh, he's trying to get in his car now. Oh, shh.
That door.
He's not doing anything. Oh, get back, get back.
Holy crap, dude.
Okay.
Oh, that's... Dude. Oh my god.
This girl is showing you what this is really about. She's reverting her right eye, which has the reptilian rectangular pupil, and the eye is too large to be human. She's also morphing her nose and cheek on that side, which have lost their human shapes and proportions. I took these screenshots with the in-loop blocking filter disabled. With it on, as you see in the video, her eyes all blurry. The guy being tasered is a Drac, the officers are Dracs, and the supposed employees are Dracs. This is another setup situation which is meant to demonstrate their abilities, and of course, that they're not human. This one is going to show that they're effectively immune to electrocution, and that he's also able to store charge like a battery. Watch him stick his tongue out repeatedly in the interview portion. Just by that, you know that he's a Drac.
All of Serbia is fascinated by his unique one-man electricity show. 220, 380, or even 20,000 volts don't affect him.
I discovered this quite by accident. A friend and I were helping a locksmith make fences, and we were using a welding machine that gave off electric shocks when it got wet. Well, one day when it was raining, my friend touched the fence with the machine, and he was immediately slammed to the ground by an electric shock. But when I touched it, nothing happened.
By holding two forks connected to a 220-volt current with his bare hands, Bieber can fry a hot dog in seconds.
Electricity does me no harm whatsoever. I never sweat, so I think my dry skin must act as an insulation.
Not only can he hold an electric current in his hands, but he can also put it in his mouth. This is a family characteristic, for his father and brother can also resist shocks.
One day I took my TV in to be repaired. They wanted to disconnect it from the power before they started because the TV transformer contains 600 volts, which is fatal. Well, of course, I wanted to try it out. They tried to hold me back, but I plugged in the TV and grabbed hold of the transformer. And as you can see, nothing happened.
Bieber's speciality has made him famous. He's even in the 1983 Guinness Book of Records. He claims he could even survive the electric chair if he were paid enough to try. Although he earns a little from his performances at various events, he has not yet made his fortune. Once he is charged, the voltmeter indicates his voltage level. In this state, he only has to touch a neon tube for it to light up. Just how dangerous it is to be near him is clearly shown by this steel bar dipped in alcohol.
He's reverting part of his left forearm here, and you can also see that he's reverting his mouth, which is expanded on the right side. So now we know that he's immune to electrocution, at least from conventional sources. And I'm sure that all Dracs can achieve this. The next question is, how does he store electrical charge in his body? He must be simulating metal-like properties in his cells, effectively creating capacitance between the layers of tissue, perhaps by concentrating the iron. That, or he may have nanotechnology inside his body, which is holding the charge. He also mentioned that he doesn't sweat, and I talked about that earlier. All humans sweat. That's the primary way that we remove excess heat from our bodies, and it's also a way to expel toxins. Without that, it's very unlikely that a human would survive past infancy. The reason he doesn't sweat is because he's a reptilian creature. Now you've seen some of the extent of their abilities, but I know that it's not the full extent. Some of these abilities may partially or entirely come from the use of technology, but whatever the source, they are extremely powerful, far greater than anything a human is capable of. And they're doing this in their human imitation forms. In their native forms, they'll certainly be even stronger and faster because of the increased size.